talk to ourselves in the way that we've always talked to ourselves, in the way that we've perhaps always seen others in our lives, that's the only way they can show up. That's the only way we can show up with them. So we have to do something different. And so today, we're going to step into something perhaps different. Perhaps if you've been coming here, you may have done this. We do it annually on January 1st. We do it in some classes. We do it whenever we are going to start a big project or we're going to change the way our community is in the world. Then we always do some visioning before that. So today we're going to step into this. Now, it's not visualization. Now, visualization is also a really wonderful thing to do. Ask any world-class athlete, and they'll tell you, oh, yes, I visualize myself doing the Fosbury flop over the high bar. Well, I mean, that probably just really dated me because I don't know that people still do it that way. But, but anyway, they visualize themselves, you know, seeing hitting a home run or winning the race, crossing and breaking that line. So they do that, and in a sense, really, the brain doesn't know any different. The brain feels that, and if you live from that space with the energy of someone who has already done that, then you just bring that into your life, right? I mean, let's think about one awesome example is Muhammad Ali. You know, how many times did he say to himself and everybody else, I am the world champion, best boxer there ever was, right? And he became the greatest. That's right. So, change your thinking, change your life. And we're going to change our thinking, not through our own devices, but by really opening ourselves up to the divine idea. And this is, again, called visioning. Now, visioning is something that was started by Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith, who is the founding minister of Agape, which is a huge New Thought church in Los Angeles. And he called it a spiritual practice, which it is, or sometimes he would call it a technology. It kind of draws in people who might not be religious. They don't want to hear that spiritual practice. Oh, I don't want to do that. But I'll do a technology. So what it does, he describes it that it allows us to really move into a space of deep listening, quieting our own minds and that monkey chatter that goes on and on and on and on ad nauseum, yes? And to really allow ourselves to get quiet, to listen with our inner ears for that inner wisdom that we have, for the divine voice, for our intuitive voice to really speak to us. And to, when we do so, then we allow something beyond our imagination to come forth. And that's what we're here to do today, to really allow something beyond our own thinking to come forth and to invite that in. So it's a process by which we're able to hear or see or feel or smell sometimes, or really just know, to just know what God's plan is for our life. No higher idea could there be. And so we are going to open ourselves to that today. Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says, it is based on the idea that we are not here to tell God what to do or to ask God for things, but to be absolutely available for what God is already doing, to open ourselves up to catch what is already happening. And you can be sitting there and be saying, you know, well, it's not happening in my life. This is what's happening in my life. But we're talking about the spiritual side of life, what is already true, what is already happening. God's highest idea for us arrived on the planet with us. We just forgot what that was. And so now we're opening ourselves up to be reminded of who we really are and the power that we have within us to really become our highest and best. Because that's all in there. Like that oak tree that's inside that acorn. It's all in there already, just waiting for us to get, as somebody said, our bloated nothingness, human selves out of the way, right? And to allow ourselves to be open to something different, something higher, something better. Our purpose here on the planet is to be God's ambassadors, of all of the really wonderful qualities of God: peace, love, joy, abundance, wisdom, freedom, grace. To really be the ambassadors of God, because that's why we're here, right? Each of us has our own individualized way of expressing those qualities, and nobody can do it exactly like we do. And so if we don't step up to the plate, if we don't change our ways and really step into it, then that particular way of showing up as love, or that particular way of showing up as peace or joy, is not going to happen. And if we're here, we are significant to the whole. Who we are matters. So this is our vision. This individualized way of doing this, of being God's ambassadors, is our vision, right? And it's our way of being in the world, and we connect with it through this process called visioning. It is allowing. It's giving up control. It's surrender. And we're not giving up like, holding that white flag and like laying down and dying, It's giving way. We are giving way to something greater than ourselves. We are giving way to a higher idea, to universal intelligence, rather than just our own. So it is tapping into the space of all possibilities. And it's really based on a higher picture, on a bigger realm than just right here, right? So it's not trying to get anything, because we already have everything we could ever want, everything that we could ever need within us, but it's a process to let our souls evolve. It's a process to really become the greatest you that you were created to be. Woo! It kind of makes you tingle all over. Bring it on. Bring it on. Now, as religious scientists, we recognize that there is only one mind, and this is the mind that we are surrendering to. God's mind. And through it, we connect to that universal intelligence, or to divine wisdom, to all of the knowledge that there has ever been, past, present, and future. It's all right there, laid out before us, if we should just reverently listen for it and to it. And through visioning, we are able to see with divine insight. Now, visioning relies on that inner knower. So each one of us has a spark of the divine within us. And that's that inner knower, that place within us that can never be broken, that can never be separated from us, that can never be confused or fear or doubt or worry. It's that peace within us that always knows who we are at our very core. And so it's ever present. It's always available to us. Most of the time that our inner chatter is going too loud to really hear it. But it is there, and it's always available, and we become receptive to it and are able to receive that vision when we allow ourselves to do that, when we surrender to it, when we get quiet enough. And as you'll see, ask the right questions. So we are opening the way for that which is already done. Abraham would say it's downriver in spiritual escrow, just waiting for us to be in alignment with it. It's already there. So we're opening ourselves up for that whole perfect and complete us to come into view. And to do so, we must be willing to let go of anything that prevents those ideas from being expressed through us. So to do this, we must be willing to surrender. We must be willing to change. Not always easy for us. You know, sometimes change is like, oh, that's scary. I don't know anything about that over there. That's really scary. I really don't like where I'm at, but at least I know what it is. So I'm going to stay right here. It's enough of that, right? Let's put our foot down and say, it's enough of that. It's enough of that. So we're going to allow God to have its way with us. We must enter into the process with the heartfelt, focused intention to want to grow, to want to expand, to want to evolve, to want to express from the fullness of our being. Not from some little limited idea of who we are, not some fearful little place, but a powerful, expanded vision of who we are. And there's no, there's in this this process that we're doing today called visioning, there's no limits to it. Like I said before, we've done it as a community to think about what our next iteration of the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is going to look like. You can do it for a project. You can do it as we're going to do it for next year. What does next year look like for me? You can do it as you come together in a relationship with someone. Like, what is that relationship going to be like? If you're creating a class or you're writing a book, you can use it for anything. A project, an event, a problem that you're having. What's the highest and God's highest and best idea of, my finances or how I can grow them. Really, it can be anything. A new ministry, a new job. And you can use visioning no matter where you are on your path. So you can use it when you're in bliss, and you can use it when you're in despair. You can use it when you know kind of where you're going, and you can use it when you don't. And what I really love about days like this is that we do it with each other, which always enhances any spiritual practice that you do. So I love it that we come together and we do this. And we feel you out there too. So thanks for being with us. One mind, right? One mind. So ultimately, we're going to get into this quiet place and we're going to ask some questions. And the answers will come to you in the way that they come to you. So you're open to see or smell or hear or feel or know. And it could come in any of those ways. I remember when I very first started to do visioning, I would get really frustrated because I'm not too much of a visual person. Like I don't really dream a lot, and I don't, like, guided meditations are not my thing. I love to do them for people, but I'm not the best at doing them. But because of that, I'd get frustrated, and because I wasn't seeing anything. But once I began to understand that it doesn't necessarily always have to be seeing, that you can hear or you can feel or you can know. Like somebody will say, well, like, how did you hear that? Well, I didn't really hear it. I just knew it. Like it was that inner core just speaking to me, but not in words. I just knew it. So just be prepared to receive it in whatever way you receive it. And, please, I just encourage you not to get frustrated about I'm not seeing this, or even I'm not getting anything. Even I'm not getting anything. Just continue to be open. Just continue to be quiet. Perhaps today the whole thing is about not getting upset. Perhaps the whole thing is about not following some idea down some rabbit hole, but to actually just sit and be as quiet as possible. And to know that even while you are driving home today or tonight when you go to bed, this process is still working on you. And you could all of a sudden receive it, like you'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning just like, whoo, where's a piece of paper? I got to write this down. So it can happen at any time, or it might be somebody you meet next week who all of a sudden tells you something that you know was absolutely for you. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's the way you receive it. So you can receive it in any kind of way and to just be okay with whatever that is. And the thing about visioning is it is a spiritual practice. And like all spiritual practices, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And so, if this is your very first time, just breathe into it and be okay with however it shows up. And even it could be your very first time and you could just get blown away. You could have a whole book download. Or you could have nothing. And it's okay. It's really okay. So just practice non-judgment. Like change, a thing that we're not always really good at. But practice non-judgment. Just stay open and receptive. And know that there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong. We're tapping into the divine. How could there be anything wrong? There is nothing wrong. You're getting it the way you're supposed to get it, and it's all in perfect timing. We don't need to figure out what's happening. Like maybe you're going to get really strongly the color blue. And you're all like, well, what's that about? What does that mean? No, don't go there. Just write it down, the color blue. Right? Or some song comes to you. Just write it down. Don't try to figure it out, right? We're responsible for the what, right? We're just listening for the what. And the how is going to unfold. And it certainly is not going to do it in this moment. It will unfold. And to just, be okay with that too. Just write it down. Wow, interesting. Get quiet again. And that's about the process too, is that so when we get into that meditative state and we ask, there will be 5 questions that we ask, and you could choose to stay in meditation the whole entire time, and then we'll give everyone time at the end to write down everything you got, everything that you received, right? Or you could open your eyes and write down things as you get them, and then close your eyes and go back into that meditative state again. Then open it again when you get something, write it down. Then go back into that meditative state again. So the choice is, am I better at going in and out of meditation, or is my memory better than that, right? And you get to choose, and there's no right way or wrong way. You just do it the way that works best for you. And it could be a combination of the two, right? So, and then later, when we do the vision boards, you can take everything that you get in the download, and now you'll have something to in your mind as you move through the magazines or as you think about what you're going to put on these vision boards. And if you don't get anything, the invitation is to just look through the magazines openly and be ready for whatever pictures, whatever images, whatever words jump off those pages and say, "Ooh, cut me out. Hey, I'm for you." Because that will happen. And you might not know why, but it's very clear, oh no, I'm supposed to get this one. So you just do it that way. So the process works perfectly. Don't be frustrated. Here, look at me. I'm telling you what to do. Don't be frustrated. So Michael Beckwith says, you are about to enter an adventure in spiritual growth, development, and unfoldment that requires your willingness. Your yes to step into the unknown. What you will discover when you take this leap is that is a place your imagination cannot even begin to fathom, because what wants to be expressed through you is unprecedented. Remember, we're stepping into something new. It's unprecedented. So he goes on, it has never been expressed before. There is untapped potential and power waiting to be expressed through you. So my question to you today is, are you willing to take this journey? Yes. And you all at home, please, are you willing to take this journey? And so we'll start by setting an intention. Please repeat after me. I am willing to evolve. I am willing to become more of myself. I am willing to drop opinions that no longer serve the evolution of my soul. I am willing to drop opinions that no longer serve the evolution of my soul. I am willing and available to do more good than I've ever experienced, realized, imagined, or manifested before. Right here and right now. And so it is. And so it is. So, in this moment, I invite you to take one of these sheets of paper, and I want you to just keep it face down, the blank sheet up for right now. And you can use your clipboards. But just keep that blank side up first. So for those of you at home, just take out a blank piece of paper, and you can participate in this process. And so what I want you to do in this moment, we affectionately call the dump. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down all the things that you think, that your consciousness, that your mind, that your beliefs, that your longings, right, believe should happen for you in 2024. And in this process, you're getting it down on paper. You've got it down. Your voice has been heard in the room. And now you can quiet that voice when we move into the visioning. It's there. You'll take this paper home with you, and you'll have all of that, so you don't have to keep thinking about it. So just get whatever it is that you think should happen in 2024 for you. The things you think you should do, the things you think you should not do. Just take a few minutes to put that all down on paper. Lay it all out. Yes, please. Yeah. Just do that now. Everybody at home, everybody here. Just write down what you think is the highest and best idea for yourself. And it's not wrong, right? And maybe even in the download, you'll get some very similar things, because we would say that our dreams and desires are God's dreams and desires for us first, and that we're just catching them, right? But this way, you don't have to be thinking about them. You can just let it go. Pick it back up later. Just give you 2 more minutes to complete that. 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes. Okay, just take another moment to complete the thought that you're on. And then I invite you to get comfortable in your chairs. And you can go ahead and turn that sheet over and then close your outer eyes. And turn your attention inward. Take a nice, deep, collective breath. And one more. And one more. And as you do so, allow your attention to follow that in-breath to the center of your being. Allow yourself to surrender to the chair beneath you and to the spirit within you. You are sitting in a space of emptiness, a blank slate, an open vessel. Armed with only the awareness of your unity with the divinity within you, your oneness with God, I invite you to know that as you seek that which is you are seeking is seeking you. That as you knock, the door will be answered. That as you ask, The answer is already on its way to you. Sit in the silence, listening with your inner ear, seeing with your inner eye, as though you were about to hear or see or feel the most important thing that you have ever heard or seen or felt in your life. Because in all probability, that's exactly what is going to happen. Allow yourself to be receptive to the still, small voice, the knower within you that knows only your highest good. In this moment, I invite you to think about a time in which you felt unconditionally loved. Could be with a partner or a pet, a childhood friend, a mother, grandmother, grandfather. It could be a situation, a space, a place. But whatever it is and whoever you were with, you felt unconditionally loved. Did not need to be anything or do anything. You were just loved. Bring up that feeling inside of you. Bring it back into your awareness. Allow it to really expand and fill every single cell in your body and spill out into this room. And to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is God's love. This is how God loves each and every single one of us. Unconditionally. Willing, able to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth, and this is what we are surrendering to today, in this moment. This is the energy we are asking these questions of. Unconditional love is here, paving the way, showing the way, lighting the way. Our only job is to be receptive to it in this moment, to reverently listen, to reverently look, to reverently feel. Just be open. Take a deep breath. And with everyone in this space, the first question that I ask Sweet Spirit is, what is the highest vision or perfect idea of my life? My life in 2024. What is the perfect vision or the perfect idea? Listen for whatever wisdom has to say. What is trying to emerge through me? What is the highest vision or perfect idea of my life in 2024? What is trying to emerge through me? And now I ask, Sweet Spirit, on behalf of all of us, what must be released to manifest this vision? What must be released? What must I let go of? What aspects of my life no longer serve me? And this vision, this highest idea, what must I release to manifest this vision? What must be released to manifest this vision? What must I let go of? What aspects of my life no longer serve me? And now, Sweet Spirit, what must I become? What must I become to empower this highest and best vision? God's highest and best vision of myself, my life in 2024. What must I become? And now, sweet Spirit, I ask, what must be embraced? What must be embraced? What gifts and talents do I already have that can serve me and this highest and best vision? What must be embraced? What must be embraced? What gifts and talents do I already have that can serve me and this highest and best vision? And lastly, sweet Spirit, is there any other information that I need to know in this moment? Is there any other information that I need to know in this moment in order to fully step into this new vision powerfully, to bring it forward? To be the person I came here to be. Is there any other information I need to know? Is there any other information that I need to know? So in this moment, I invite you to bring your attention back into your bodies and into the room and remain turned within. Keep your eyes closed if you're okay with that. As I speak a word of prayer, truly recognizing and acknowledging the presence of Spirit within each of us, within this room, within your rooms at home, within our hearts, within our minds, within our consciousness. The presence of Spirit is always present as wisdom, as peace, as joy, as creativity, as abundance, as freedom, as unlimited possibilities. And so I know that all of the download, all of the wisdom that we have received today comes with everything it needs to be made manifest, everything it needs to come to fruition. That we are here and available, that we have agreed to surrender to this wisdom and to allow it to come forth through and as us, uniquely, in our own individualized way. And so in this moment, I am so grateful for the presence of Spirit. I'm so grateful for the reverent listening that has happened today, the quietness that made the space available. So grateful for the download, so grateful for anything that was received. And even those things that perhaps have not been received yet, but I know are on their way. I am grateful for it all. Affirming that we are spiritual beings having a human incarnation and that we can tap into that which created the cosmos, that which created everything seen and unseen, and that its power is our power. Its creativity is our creativity. Its joy is our joy. And that power and presence wants nothing more than for us to be all that we can be. We're not alone as we walk this path. We have each other, our community, our loved ones, and the divine presence, always with us. That love energy that makes the crooked places straight and the rough ones smooth. And so I say yes and thank you for all of us. Grateful for this technology, this spiritual practice. Grateful that we're here together today doing it. Grateful for our spiritual community, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. So I release this prayer into that law that clothes my words in form. Letting go and letting God be God. I invite everyone to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, for those of us listening online, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And so let's take a moment for those of you that thought your memory was better than your ability to come in and out of meditation, to go ahead and write down the thoughts that came to you, the ideas, the vision. And I would like to, in this moment, thank everybody for joining us online, or if you're watching this at a later date, encouraging everybody to now take the time, if you have the materials, to, even if you just have the magazines and you cut them out now, but you don't have the poster board or anything, but create a visual, mental equivalent of that which you have just received and put it someplace where you can see it day in and day out, and begin to really put on the coat of the person that has that life already, that has those things that were part of the download for you. And what I know is we're going to be here for a couple of hours. If you live close, you could jump in the car and you could get on over here and make your vision boards with us. So thank you very much for inviting us into your home, and we'll say goodbye to you right now. Thank you.